the idea of religion as this special category set apart from other stuff people think, believe, and do, well, that's only a few hundred years old. It came about in 16th century Western Europe during the Protestant Reformation. Christians used the religion label for traditions that had a founder, sacred texts, clergy, and particular times and places for doing religious stuff. In short, to be a religion, it had to look kinda like Christianity, which Islam and Judaism kinda do, and Buddhism slightly does, and worshipping at the altar of a particular economic system doesn't, even if the invisible hand of the market works in mysterious ways.
Hello, my name is Anvita Rao, and along with Ash Kim and Wendy Sona, we're going to be talking about minority religions and class.
This is a Hindu celebration, so is this, and so is this one, the Kumbh Mela, which in 2019 drew 200 million people. That's like 5 Tokyos, or 250 Indianapolises. They came from all walks of life with diverse practices devoted to diverse gods. And that raises a question. With all those many ways of doing Hinduism, what does it mean to be Hindu?
A brief introduction of Hinduism first. Well, what is it? It's the world's oldest still practiced religion and continues to be practiced mainly in India and Indian immigrant populations. It's a religion that worships many aspects of God and is diverse in how people practice their bhakti, or devotion. And in the lens of this class, Hinduism is going to be used as an example of probably the world's oldest hierarchy, the caste system, which was a systemic oppression of certain peoples that caused a visible power pyramid. As the video stated, there are a lot of things to learn about Hinduism, but what is it? Well, the first article was a New York Times article that talks about a dispute in middle school textbooks in California. The dispute was how to discuss Hinduism, the caste system, the role of women, and minority religions in the Indian subcontinent area. The Hindu American Foundation said that they wanted to reshape the idea of Hinduism and caste hierarchies. But this starts a debate where, of course, India is not the rest of South Asia, which also includes Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and parts of Afghanistan, and brings up issues with trying to erase history or sanitization of religious and cultural hierarchies. The second reading was about Religion, Immigration, and Development by Reina Agrawala. She talked about how religion is sort of a home away from home, and that people attend their religious ceremonies, their religious festivals like Holi or Eid, and that for a lot of immigrant communities, that it's a very important way of not only community and social bonding, but also social services and material resources. Religion is not supposed to be idealized, and it does have its flaws, but for a lot of immigrant communities, it's a really important way to decide things like community, family, friends, relationships, and even politics. A brief introduction of the caste system. The caste system is basically your classical hierarchy pyramid. It has the brahmanas, or the learned scholars, at the top, the military kshatriyas, the vaishyas, or the merchants or craftsmen, the shudras, who you would consider kind of minimum wage laborers, and underneath them, you would have the untouchables, or the Dalits, who were most oppressed by the ideas of the caste system.
A big question is if the caste system persists in the US. In Seattle, it was such a big problem in the South Asian community that they banned caste-based discrimination in 2023 in tech and academic settings. The Dalit, untouchables, report discrimination within tech companies, universities, and community spaces. The most notable case was against Cisco in the Silicon Valley tech industry. They were accused of caste-based discrimination against a Dalit engineer. The case was later dropped, but it still sparked national debate over if the caste system continues even after moving to the US to escape it. Islam, in the context of the readings, Agarwala talks about how many Muslim groups operate across borders linking diaspora communities with their home countries. These ties facilitate fundraising, education, and welfare projects in poorer regions. In terms of social class, Muslim organizations bridge social class divides by providing welfare, education, and financial support to lower income groups that are often excluded from state or secular aid. Mormonism is American exceptionalism as a religion because they share a lot of common values, such as the belief that America is divinely chosen and that Mormon scripture teaches that the restoration of the gospel could only happen in the United States, a certain promised land that was protected for freedom and faith. They both promote a chosen people like mentality with moral duty and world responsibility, such as moral leadership or protecting freedom, and sometimes it overlaps between faith and nationalism, turning patriotism into theology. Mormonism and socialism are similar through shared economic ideals. They both emphasize community welfare, equality, and care for the poor. And early Mormon communalism, such as the United Order, practiced shared property and resources similar to socialist cooperation. And then early Mormon settlers, socialist economy in Utah, were Mormon pioneers that were poor and working class converts from England, and they were heavily influenced by socialist ideas. And in contrast to modern Mormonism and capitalism, the original Latter-day Saints teachings contrast with modern Mormonism's libertarian-leaning leadership and rejection of government taxation. Their core similarity is the belief that society should ensure that no one is left behind and that wealth carries a moral responsibility to help others.
So Mormonism began in the United States and teaches that America is a promised land chosen by God. Because of that, many of its beliefs match American values like hard work, family, and education. These are mostly middle-class ideas, where success and discipline are seen as signs of strong faith. In the California textbook debate, media coverage made Hinduism seem like a simple cultural argument about using India or South Asia, but that left out bigger issues about caste and representation. Groups like the Hindu American Foundation were shown as defending cultural pride, while critics said they were ignoring caste inequality. Like with Mormonism and Islam, the media framing was more on identity and morality than on class and power. Dali and lower caste voices were mostly left out, which made the story one-sided. Leaving them out hid the deeper struggles over how Hinduism and caste are portrayed. The debate shifted from class and hierarchy to culture and identity, making it sound simpler than it really is. That softened the story and ignored how serious caste oppression still is. Religion carries social responsibility, not just spiritual meaning. Schools and media should include marginalized voices, not just those with the most power. When religion is only shown through culture or pride, it hides inequality and silences people. Seeing this helps us understand how religion shapes who's respected and who's ignored. So our question is, what impact does religion play in promoting social responsibility and how people view class hierarchies?